Today, the PS5 Pro gets confirmed. Intel's next-gen desktop CPUs leak, Ryzen 9000 is right around the corner, and Nvidia is rushing out their next-gen gaming GPUs. Welcome everyone to Gamer Meld. First up for today, Sony's PlayStation 5 Pro has just gotten confirmation, along with specs, performance, and release timing, so strap on in because it's pretty much all here. This story originally comes from The Verge, who, first off, like I said, was able to confirm the existence of the upcoming console. It's codenamed Trinity, and developers are already being asked by Sony to ensure their games are compatible with the new hardware with a strong focus on ray tracing. And when it comes to hardware, they were able to get a full list of specs. Starting things off, the CPU is essentially the same, but it has a new mode that allows it to clock at least a bit higher to 3.85 GHz. The standard mode is 3.5 GHz or lower, but the high CPU frequency mode can be enabled by the developer. But of course, given this is a gaming console, the most important part is the graphics card, and that has gotten a serious boost. In fact, GPU rendering is expected to be 45% faster than the standard PlayStation 5, but the most important part is the PS5 Pro's ray tracing performance. According to The Verge, ray tracing performance is up to 3 times faster. And if you follow this channel, you know that a month ago I discussed very similar performance. In that video, I made it clear that the leak more or less proved the PS5 Pro is using RDNA 4 architecture for ray tracing. And here, The Verge actually states that the PS5 Pro is using a quote, more powerful ray tracing architecture. So yeah, the PS5 Pro is set to be one beast of an upgrade. When it comes to the release, Sony is apparently set to drop the new console during this year's holiday season. And next up for today, 2 of Intel's next-gen desktop CPUs were just leaked. But before I get to that, I used to have a really tough time learning certain complex parts of computer science, mostly because I have ADHD and I get really bored easily. But all of that's a thing of the past, because I now learn with today's sponsor, Brilliant, the online platform that uses a method proven to be 6 times more effective than watching lecture videos. And that's hands-on learning, where they get you to actually do the problems yourself. What's even better is that their courses were crafted by an award-winning team of teachers, researchers, professionals from Duke, MIT, Microsoft, and more. So you know you're learning the right stuff, not just some random person who may not even know the subject matter. Plus, Brilliant has tons of courses in the STEM field, which means there's something for everyone. And today, when you visit brilliant.org/gamermeld or use the QR code, you'll get a 30-day free trial. And when that's up, you'll get 20% off your premium membership for life. Once again, that's brilliant.org/gamermeld or use the QR code. Now back to the story, Intel's next-gen Arrow Lake CPUs are set to be one huge leap from their current Raptor Lake refresh. Not only does it come with a brand new architecture built on a better node that promises big performance gains, but also comes with a brand new LGA 1851 socket. And don't forget that these are set to be called their Core Ultra 200 line. Well, in a couple newly leaked driver logs, we get one of our first looks at the upcoming parts. Starting things off, we have 2 CPUs here, and you can see that these are Arrow Lake S parts, which means they're desktop CPUs. One comes with 24 cores and a clock speed of 3 GHz, and the other one comes with 20 cores and a clock of 2.3 GHz. Of course, those clocks don't mean much here, given they're likely for early engineering samples, but there's one thing that is important. As you can see, neither processors come with hyperthreading. There's 24 cores and 24 threads, or 20 cores and 20 threads. If you remember, earlier this year, I discussed a new patent from Intel that whenever a process called rentable units. This would basically dole out bigger tasks to the bigger cores and smaller tasks to the smaller cores, with the goal of finishing tasks at the same time. And given the fact that hyperthreading is essentially just doing tasks during downtime, it would ultimately try to do what hyperthreading does, but just in a different way. So as long as Arrow Lake does have this new tech, it may not matter that much that it doesn't have hyperthreading, though we'll obviously have to see how well this new system can work. Specifically, how well it works with Windows. Either way, Intel's next-gen CPUs are set to be a very interesting launch. Next up, we've seen a few leaks recently which shows us that AMD is seriously close to releasing their next-gen Ryzen 9000 CPUs. The last one was a chipset driver that added support for Ryzen 9000 to an ASUS motherboard. Well, in a new BIOS update for MSI's MPG B650 Carbon Wi-Fi, the company flat says it. The Agisa 1.1.7.0 patch is to update the motherboard for next-gen CPUs. So they're actually saying the quiet part out loud. And given this is for an AM5 board, it's obviously made for their desktop lineup. And we pretty much already know that it's their Ryzen 9000 parts. And according to the most recent rumors, AMD could in fact be announcing their next-gen parts at this year's Computex. For those who don't know, that starts June 3rd, meaning next-gen parts could come even sooner than we thought. Though I will say AMD may just tease them with an actual release a bit later. Still, it's exciting to see the company gearing up for their next-gen release. And while on the topic of releases, Nvidia is apparently rushing out their next-gen RTX 5000 gaming GPUs. This story originally comes from a new video by known leaker Moore's Law is Dead, who recently heard some new information from sources that he knows. For starters, one source claims that Nvidia is more or less rushing to release their enterprise GPUs because of AMD's MI products. Think their MI300 accelerators or their rumored MI350 series. Either way, Nvidia is starting to get scared. And the good news here is that also according to this source, their next-gen gaming GPUs are essentially going to be identical to their Blackwell editions of their enterprise cards. So because Nvidia is being forced to release those, they might as well release their next-gen gaming cards as well. And that brings me to these other sources. According to two other sources, Nvidia may even be releasing the 5090 and 5080 in Q3. And yes, that means that the recent report claiming that the cards releasing will be the 5090 and 5080 seems to be correct. But get this, he's actually hearing that they could be announced as early as Computex, which once again is in early June. With that said, even if it does happen then, don't expect a large number of cards. This will likely be a paper launch yet again, but still, Nvidia's next-gen cards may be coming way sooner than we originally thought. So while that does it for today, which RTX 5000 card are you most excited for? Let me know down in the comments below, and make sure you try out Brilliant for free at brilliant.org/gamermelt. And as always, have a great day!